Many people believe that having few or no friends is a sign that something is wrong with them. Society often teaches us that popularity equals happiness and that the more people around you, the better your life must be. But the truth is far more interesting than that. Some of the most thoughtful, intelligent, and emotionally deep people in the world have very small circles. If you find yourself walking alone most of the time, thinking deeply while others chase noise and attention, it may not be a weakness at all. In fact, it could mean you possess certain rare qualities that most people simply do not have. Take a moment and really think about your life. Maybe you have tried to fit into groups before but always felt like something didn't quite match. Maybe conversations around you feel shallow or repetitive. Maybe you enjoy quiet moments more than crowded rooms. If that sounds familiar, then what you're experiencing might not be loneliness, it might be selectiveness. People with rare traits tend to value depth over quantity, meaning they would rather have one meaningful connection than dozens of empty ones. Another important thing to understand is that strong individuality can make social life a little complicated. When someone thinks differently, questions things, and refuses to follow every trend blindly, they often stand apart from the crowd. And when you stand apart, not everyone will understand you. That's the price of being authentic. But that authenticity is also what makes people like you incredibly valuable in the long run. Many people who later become leaders, creators, and innovators once walked a path that felt lonely. They spent time observing the world, studying human behavior, and learning about themselves while others were distracted. That quiet time helped shape their perspective. So if you have ever wondered why your circle is small, there is a strong chance it is connected to certain inner qualities that are actually rare and powerful. One of those traits is deep self-awareness. People with this quality spend a lot of time thinking about their actions, their emotions, and the direction of their lives. They reflect on their choices instead of just moving with the crowd. Because of this, they become very conscious about the type of people they allow close to them. Not everyone earns a place in their inner circle, and that naturally keeps the number of friendships small. Another rare trait is a strong sense of independence. Some people simply do not rely heavily on constant social interaction to feel complete. They can spend time alone without feeling empty. Instead of needing others to fill every quiet moment, they use solitude to think, plan, learn, and grow. Independence like this can sometimes make others uncomfortable because many people depend on social validation. But the truth is, independence is a powerful strength. People with fewer friends often also have very high standards for trust and loyalty. They have likely seen how easily people can betray, gossip, or switch sides when situations change. Because of this awareness, they guard the personal space carefully. They are not interested in surface-level relationships built only on convenience. They want sincerity, honesty, and respect. And since those qualities are rare, their friend circle naturally becomes smaller. Another trait that often appears in people with fewer friends is deep observation. While others are busy talking, these individuals are watching and learning. They notice body language, tone of voice, and subtle behaviors that reveal a person's true character. This ability to read people can make them cautious about forming connections too quickly. They prefer to understand someone fully before allowing that person into their life. There is also a strong connection between creativity and solitude. Many creative thinkers find that quiet time helps their minds work better. Writers, artists, thinkers, and innovators often need space away from constant noise to explore ideas. When the mind is not filled with endless social distractions, it becomes free to imagine new possibilities. This is one reason why some of the most creative individuals in history lived very reflective lives. Another rare trait connected to having fewer friends is emotional depth. Some people experience emotions on a very profound level. They think deeply about life, purpose, relationships, and personal growth. Small talk and shallow conversations often feel exhausting to them. Because of this, they naturally distance themselves from environments where meaningful discussion rarely happens. People with this level of depth also tend to value honesty above popularity. They would rather speak the truth than say something simply to be liked. This honesty can sometimes make them misunderstood because many social environments reward people who agree with the majority. But authenticity always holds more value than temporary approval. Another quality that keeps someone's circle small is a strong focus on personal growth. Individuals who are committed to improving their lives often spend time learning, practicing skills, and reflecting on the goals. While others may be focused on constant social entertainment, they're investing energy into building their future. This dedication can create distance from people who are not moving in the same direction. There is also something powerful about being comfortable with silence. Many people avoid quiet moments because silence forces them to face their thoughts. But individuals with strong inner worlds are not afraid of that space. Silence becomes a place where clarity grows. It becomes a place where ideas are born and personal strength develops. Another trait that often appears is emotional independence. People with fewer friends do not depend heavily on external validation to feel worthy. They understand their value without needing constant approval from others. Because of this, they're less likely to chase attention or force relationships that do not feel genuine. This emotional independence also makes them resilient. When life becomes difficult, they rely on inner strength rather than running to the crowd for reassurance. Over time, this builds a level of maturity that many people never fully develop. It is also important to recognize that people with smaller circles often have stronger boundaries. They know how to say no when something feels wrong. They protect their time and energy carefully. Not everyone respects boundaries, so individuals who enforce them may appear distant to people who are used to unlimited access. Another rare trait is the ability to enjoy one's own company. While some people feel uncomfortable being alone, others find peace in it. They can take walks alone, work alone, think alone, and still feel completely fulfilled. This ability creates a deep sense of freedom because happiness is not dependent on constant company. Many people with fewer friends are also highly observant about human behavior. They see patterns in how people act during different situations. They notice who supports others when things are difficult and who disappears when things become inconvenient. This awareness naturally makes them careful about who they trust. Another important quality is authenticity. Individuals with smaller social circles often refuse to pretend to be someone they are not just to fit into groups. They would rather be misunderstood than live behind a fake personality. This level of honesty may reduce the number of people around them, but it increases the quality of the connections they eventually form. People with these rare traits also tend to be strong thinkers. They ask questions about life, purpose, and meaning. Instead of simply accepting every social rule, they analyze and form their own conclusions. This independent thinking can sometimes isolate them from environments that prefer conformity. Another trait that stands out is patience in relationships. Rather than rushing to call someone a friend, they take time to observe consistency. They understand that real friendship is built slowly through trust, loyalty, and shared values. There is also a quiet confidence that develops when someone becomes comfortable with solitude. Confidence like this does not come from applause or popularity. It grows from understanding who you are and standing firmly in that identity. Over time, this quiet confidence attracts the right people naturally. When someone knows their worth, they no longer chase attention. Instead, they attract individuals who appreciate authenticity and depth. Having fewer friends can also mean you avoid unnecessary drama. Large social circles sometimes come with gossip, jealousy, and conflict. A smaller circle often creates a calmer and more peaceful life environment. People with rare traits usually prefer meaningful conversations about ideas, growth, and life experiences rather than endless small talk. This preference can make them seem distant in environments where shallow conversations dominate. Another thing to remember is that the right friendships often appear later in life. When you are focused on growth, purpose, and authenticity, you eventually cross paths with people who value those same things. If your friend circle is small, it may simply mean you are waiting for connections that truly match your values. Quality relationships take time to find, but when they appear, they're far stronger than dozens of temporary ones. Instead of seeing your situation as a weakness, consider the possibility that you are developing qualities that many people spend years trying to build. Self-awareness, independence, emotional strength, authenticity, and deep thinking are not common traits. The world often celebrates loud personalities and large crowds, but history repeatedly shows that quiet thinkers shape the future. Many great ideas are born in moments of solitude, reflection, and observation. So if you sometimes feel different because your social circle is small, remember that difference can be a sign of depth. Not everyone is meant to move with the crowd. If this message resonated with you and helped you see your situation in a new light, make sure you subscribe to this channel for more powerful insights about personal growth, human behavior, and the mindset that leads to a stronger life. Join this growing community of thinkers who choose depth over noise and purpose over popularity. Your journey of growth is just beginning, and there are many more powerful ideas waiting for you here.